type of situation. I watched my brother, who's 3 years older than me, develop anxiety, and he had, been put in a position, as a young man to try to lead our family, but him at the same time didn't know how to handle that type of pain either. So we were both really in this place of just being lost with no direction. And at that age, and at any age really, you're looking for love, you're looking for acceptance. We want to fit in naturally. Our desire is to fit in and be loved and accepted. So at a young age, I'm going out into the world with no father to guide me, to discipline me.
Especially that 12, 13 range. My gosh, that's such a tough time for a young boy or young girl, because they're just coming into this, kind of coming out of adolescence and coming into their bodies are changing, they're maturing in all these different ways, and then you've lost your role model. Yeah,
it was very difficult because I'm a sports guy, grew up playing sports, and I can remember going to the ball field and watching the other kids, dads be out there rooting them on, throwing the ball with them, and I'd look around and my dad wouldn't be there. So that pain that just began to build in my heart, I just held in, and I had no idea how to deal with that pain of my dad not being there. So I started hanging around people that, were not the best influence on my life, and I started seeing culture, and I started looking at who was, in my eyes, cool and that I wanted to surround myself with. And I saw that to make money, that's what I need to do. That's what brings girls. I have to have the nicest shoes on, and I have to have the name brand clothes, because if I don't have that, I'm not going to fit in, and people won't like me. They won't accept me. I saw people that were using drugs and drinking alcohol, and that I thought that was the cool thing to do. So I started surrounding myself with those people. And at 13 years old, I began to start selling drugs. I began to start using drugs. I stopped going to school. The only time I really went to school was to sell drugs to other kids. I was so angry in my heart that I took it out on other people. If somebody just looked at me wrong, I'd start a fight with them. Everything that I did was just from a foundation of just anger and bitterness and not knowing how to deal with that, But I can remember this one specific time where I went to Hawaii. And I was in Hawaii, and I can remember laying in bed looking up at the ceiling and thinking, is this it?
Yeah.
Is this all that life has to offer? I was still empty inside, and I knew that there was more. I couldn't figure it out at the time. Right. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what I was missing. Yeah. But in my eyes, I had everything. But the truth was I had nothing. Okay, and life goes on, and I continue, to do real estate and build my business, and then the real estate market crashes. Mm-hmm. The real estate market crashes, and start losing money, but living the same lifestyle. Yeah. And slowly but surely, I start to lose everything. The cars, the houses. I come to find out that my ex-wife my wife at the time was cheating and messing around with another guy, which is my best friend, at the time. And I didn't know how to handle that pain, and I was hurt, so I started using more drugs to try to cover my pain. And then at the same time, I lost my best friend, to a drug overdose, all in the same period of time, to where, I was a wreck over that and a complete mess on how to handle that and dealing with the pain of that, and then just my business and then thinking to myself, I failed. Mm-hmm. I failed in life. I failed as a father. I failed as a husband. What are people going to think about me? They're gonna see me as just a loser now. That it's just like my dad always said. You're never gonna amount to nothing. And these type of things. If you don't get a job right now and do this and all the things that he told me, I come to this point of, man, I'm done. I have so much pain that I don't know what to do. So I just become my best customer in the drug business, and I start using drugs, and I start using heavier drugs, and I start using harder drugs, and then next thing I know, I have a separation and a divorce order and a restraining order against my kids, to where I can't even see them, and if I call them on the phone, then I'll get arrested. So, and it's a 6-month order. So in that time of this restraining order, I can't see my kids, which are my life.
Right.
I'm going through so much pain. I'm losing everything. My world is crashing down on me, and the only thing that I know to do is to use more drugs to cover up the pain, almost right before my eyes. And again, the Lord had a different plan. God says that He places eternity in the hearts of men, and the reason I didn't do it is because in my heart I knew there's something after that. That there was something that, because if I truly thought and believed that if I just shot myself, I would be gone and not have to deal with anything, or there's nothing else, I would have just done it. But God had a different plan, and I didn't end up following through with it. But I did continue the behavior. I did continue in my addiction, and things, like I said, got worse and worse, all the way to the point where, I was using drugs, with IV drugs. I was using very hard drugs, and I overdosed multiple times. Went in the hospital from an overdose, and coming out, and then having people that want to help me and put me in a faith-based program. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, first of all, I was like, what is a faith-based program? I've never heard of a faith-based program.
So you went growing up with your before you were 12.
Yeah.
You had really no exposure to church or Christianity or
right. We would go like to Christmas, we would go that type of thing, and we would go to, my mom and dad would take me to Easter services, but there was no like real activity in the church or practicing Christianity. Gotcha. or following Jesus or anything like that. It was just like, hey, Christmas, Easter type of thing, that type of I don't know the word I'm looking for. Right. So I'm at this point in my life where I've tried everything. I've tried to stop. I just couldn't stop, and I didn't know what to do. So I'm thinking, what is a faith-based program? And I can remember, my friend asked me, "Do you have peace?" And I thought to myself, no, I have absolutely no peace.
Yeah.
No peace whatsoever, no joy whatsoever.
You're what? How old at this point?
At this point, I'm 33.
33 years old.
33 years old.
And no connection to, family, whether it's the family you that you had from growing up, or your daughters or anything like that at this point? At this point in my life, my mother is the one person that stuck by my side. Okay. But even she was at a point where, she wouldn't let me stay there. And she's just like, you got to get help. You got to go do something. Yeah. She was done. It brought her to a point of just complete brokenness and no hope and despair. And, I put her in a really, really tough place in life, but she never gave up on me. My brother, he wanted nothing to do with me because of the impact it had on my mom. She's about almost 12 weeks now, so we're super excited. We have a baby coming in April, and then through that, going back to school and serving in the church and being raised up and committing my life to God, I found God calling me to be a pastor. Just the people that He would bring into my life and have me minister to, and the gifts that He'd given me and the calling that He placed on my life, and now He made me a pastor, and now I have an amazing opportunity to be a part of what God's doing in the church and to lead the church and to
pastor people and work with people that have different issues or problems, and I go from this the guy, who is broken and a complete mess and in need of help. And then that's what God has me doing now, is working with those same type of people where I was, that are broken and lost and need help, and to show them the way, to show them that there is hope, that where you're at right now is not forever. Your past does not define you. The choices that you've made, things that you've done in your past, people that you've hurt, God can use all that. He says, Romans 8:28 says, God works all things out for good for those that love him and are called according to his purpose. So God took my mess and he turned it into a message, to where I could bring other people hope and show other people that Jesus is the way, he is the truth, and he is life, that no man comes to the Father except through him, that our greatest need, our greatest desire is our greatest need is salvation. It's forgiveness from God through repenting and believing the gospel and coming into right relationship with God through faith in Jesus. And that's my life now, is to, just love other people, to serve other people, to serve the church, to be a part of what he's doing. And it's just exciting, and that's just where I'm at right now. And that's kind of just, now it's just kind of a day-to-day thing. And
Thank you so much for watching the Critical Bench YouTube channel. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, drop us some comments or questions below, hit that subscribe button right there, 5 ways to become tough as nails right here, and another video from us. We'll see you real soon.